Sp4zie commentary and plenty.
Hello, YouTube! Sp4zie coming right at you with another commentary. Today we're obviously taking a look at Vel'Koz, the newest champion to the league. AP mid, naturally, and with a setup of standardized rune page extravaganza. We got the flat ability power quints, we got the magic pen marks, armor seals, magic resist glyphs, masteries we're looking at 2109. So very, very classic, very, very common. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I feel about this champion, some of the combos, mechanics that you can pull off. I'm going to showcase when I do it right and when I do it wrong. One thing I've got to say about Vel'Koz is that his passive is definitely a very key component to his damage output, and you gotta acknowledge that if you're gonna play Vel'Koz to success, because some of your abilities actually doesn't do much damage themselves, but they just put the passive on them, and the passive does tons of damage, as Freak would say. Get yourself a drink, guys. I've got a cup of tea. Earl Grey. Demonstrated by Exhibit A here. When Kale is going to walk into my entire combo when I'm level 3, you're going to show the damage. You're going to see the damage from the 2 stacks and the 3rd stack with the passive, the Q follow-up. And if I would have ignited right here, I could have flashed followed up and killed her, which probably would be dead with ignite only, actually. So my mistake right there. You can rock Vel'Koz with ignite or barrier. Barrier is a very solid pick. I mean, you will be staying at range, but ignite can also be good for killing, securing kills in the lane. Kind of the way I play Serath, you can consider like, yeah, I could bring ignite if I have kill potential and if I outplay them hard in lane, but barrier is going to be way more useful late game. And yeah, well, you can max W or you can max Q. Here, since Kale used Flash, we're gonna go in and secure a kill with Vi. Good job acknowledging the fact that Flash was down and just ganking it. You could max Q or W. Q, obviously better poking. W, a little bit better wave clear. There you see how you actually clear the backline. You use W for 2 stacks, and then and if you're maxing your Q, you finish off the 3 creeps in the back with your Q. In general, I feel like Q is the better choice. W is easier for wave clear, and if you're against a melee champion, it would be you could consider maxing W, because there will be in range. The thing about W is that it's a little bit tricky to actually get it to pop twice, and the first pop is only for marking them. You do like 0 damage with it in comparison to your other spells. Here we would definitely have gotten a kill if I would have hit my abilities, but as you can see, ooh, the damage with the passive there, nice. As you can see, I'm not really sweating it, because the fact that she has to be again is almost as brutal as a kill would be. The only thing that's different is that I don't get as much gold from it, but she'll be just as behind as if would have gotten the kill. And now I'm level 6, she's level 4. I can just go in and hit my entire combo, ignite for the overkill, and just, yeah, finish her off. So I'm way ahead in this lane, and I'm trying to take advantage of it, make advantage, and make plays constantly, and it's working out pretty nice. But yeah, maxing your Q in this game, I am maxing Q in this game, then W, and then E, and well, R whenever it's up. So, item-wise, I don't really feel that you have to go Athene's. I mean, Athene's definitely a good item on Vel'Koz, but unlike Serath, I don't feel like you have to do it. The mana cost of the Q is relatively low. As you can see, I can be extremely aggressive even though I miss abilities here because I'm that far ahead. So yeah, Athene's definitely not a bad choice, but if you're behind, you can actually go like triple Dorans into Sork Boots and then like just straight up Rabadons. That's been working for me as well. That's a nice little trick. Activate your Q earlier than at the last second and you'll hit it most of the times. The thing about your Q is that you can also force them into an E, because they will usually juke it forward towards you, because that's the way the ability works. And at that point you can really just finish them or like set them up for a combo that way. As you can see, again, I'm able to bully her out of the lane, not grabbing the kill, but it's fine. I'm freezing the lane, I'm getting a huge advantage in CS and XP here, so it's fine. So sometimes you don't have to be greedy for them kills. Here comes the most failed roam in history of mankind. TF is going to use his thingy, and I go in and ult instead of E. If I just would have used E, I would have interrupted him and grabbed the kill. Instead, he survives. But the lesson to learn here is that the ult actually doesn't do much damage. The passive does. So that's also another one of those abilities. Like the ultimate itself will not do that much damage early on. But if you can get it to proc several stacks of your passive, wow, then that's going to hurt him. So keep that in mind. You need to chain the ultimate with either stacks already on them by other abilities or with CC so that you will actually get the stacks going. So that's something you really want to keep in mind, guys. After Athene's, if you go for it, just get Sork Boots, get a Rabadons, either Void Staff or, in my opinion, Rylai's is not the best idea because you have some decent slow with your Q, a great slow, in fact, and you have your CC with your E, so, and slow with your ultimate. I mean, I don't feel Rylai's is worthy pickup where you could actually get like a Banshees or something defensive, and then a Void Staff for the extra Damasio. But in terms of playing Vel'Koz, it's a lot about just staying at max range constantly. There's your classic combo, that's like E, Q, W, and then just pop him with ult. But in team fights, and you're gonna see some good demonstration of it later on, you just want to stay at max range, throw out your Qs, and be very wary of where your stacks of your passive are at. Like if you, for instance, have 2 stacks on the tank in front, it could be worth to unload everything at him, because you'll do so much damage, even though it's a tank. As you can see, I'm way ahead of this Kayle, but I'm being a little bit greedy here. Nocturne is obviously gonna ult me, and Kayle's gonna put some damage because, yeah, she prolonged the death with her ult. Nicely so, actually, and, well, she's gonna go down, and this little Blobmeister is gonna get away, so, okay, I guess. Taking a sip of the tea. Sp4zie, why are you drinking tea, man? What happened to the coffee? You know, you gotta cut down on that coffee. I've had like 3 cups today, and it's only like 3 in the afternoon. So, you know, keep it chill. Here's a big fail from my part. I'm trying constantly here to put a ward in the brush, but it's not going off. And it's actually gonna deny us this kill, because if I had vision on that guy, she would have landed her CC possibly, and here Kayle's gonna come in with a clutch ult and save his butt. And that's something you really want to do. I wanted to do, I just failed by clicking. I guess I underestimated the range. But it's really important to ward in brushes while you're fighting. That's something you want to try and master and do as often as possible, because it really helps. When I'm playing AD carry and my support don't do that for me, it usually means I will not get a kill, or I will get a kill, or sometimes it could even mean the win or the loss of the fight you're in. So yeah, definitely try and practice that. Here I'm going to bump into the support and ADTF, by the way, what? I land my combo and he has 2 stacks, so I'm gonna go ahead and ult him and do some massive damage with some help of Blitzipu. We're gonna pick up that kill. He's gonna pull that in, this support Nautilus. I mean, that's a legit lane right there. I tried to finish him off with a Q, but instead I'm gonna have to land my combo and then flash out to make sure I don't die. And land a little Q. Vi can possibly come in and clean up, but no. Going back, finishing up that Rabadons. At least I'm trying to. Don't know if I have enough. Yeah, walking it through the mid. I think we skipped a little bit, because basically what happened then was just we went back to the bot lane and we derped and we got killed. So by now, they're actually not that behind as they were in the beginning, which makes this game a little bit more interesting. I'm gonna try and snipe out this TF, but he flashes away, so good job on him. Not the best use of ult right there. And that's how you can clean the waves later on. Just land your W and then burp E, and then you get the minions. Again, that would have been a nice place to ult. The thing about your ult is that you might also want to consider it not a nuke for a single target, because where it really shines is when you can proc your passive on several of the enemy team members and not actually go for single target kills. Nice little sniper on TF. But I mean, yeah, you could put out some decent deeps with it, but it really shines in AoE, so you want to try and land that. Just trying to poke here, trying to look for openings. It appears that the red buff is going to be where we fight, where we contest. Blitz pulls it in. Who's going to get it though? I hit a Q, and I should have followed up straight away with an E. Instead I do it later. I hit Kayle, so that's good. Zach finishes off Nautilus. Keeping those passives procced and getting the kill on Kayle there. As you can see, guys, I want to stress the fact that the passive does damage, and it needs to be in focus for you if you want to be successful on Vel'Koz. You need to look for the key targets that has the passive on them, and you want to use your abilities accordingly. And here I try to just put maximum deeps to Nocturne with my ultimate for them to finish it off. Luckily they do. And then we derp a little bit. I think we stay for too long. Actually, what happens is we get the turret, and instead of focusing the inhib, which we should be doing right now, we go for kills. And Nautilus jukes the E by landing the Q on Vayne. He does die in the end, but we just also die, and we should have just done the inhib. I mean, look at it, it's off HP. But, you know, it's a normal fun game, and we're derping a little bit, we're having a lot of fun. Vayne does a nice condemned here to interrupt the TF to save the Vi, but she actually goes in to the base. I don't know why. I think it is because she didn't know that TF got interrupted, so she tried to get away, I guess, but it ended up wasting that nice play of Vayne. Here I'm gonna use my ultimate a little bit unnecessarily. Like, I land nothing there, but then Blitz hooks, and I could have just deepsed him with Q and W here. It would have been enough. Instead, I waste my ultimate. And I say waste because then I kill the key target, the AD carry, sure. But again, the AoE missing the Q. Jesus Christ, come on, Sp4zie. The ult shines in AoE, and keep that in mind at all times. So what do I think of Vel'Koz as we move into the open inhib and the fight that I think that I pull off pretty decently? I think it's okay, and I think it's fun. I mean, the ultimate is really satisfying to pull off. But, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Here comes the fight. As you can see, Nautilus is going to engage on Vayne. She's going to flash out, and I'm just going to stand on max range, putting the passive stacks on as many as I can, missing the Q there, landing an E on Trundle to make Vayne be able to deeps him. Follow up with Qs. I just stand at range, I throw out my spells, I weave him, I put the Ignite on AD because I have a little window to do so. I flash in, land the Q on Nautilus, Nocturne goes in, and that's when I decide to ult Kayle because I know that she is gonna look to actually do some damage. I land a nice little E on TF, and here my cooldown is actually just gonna be up. And yeah, I die. But a decent fight there. And you can see like the mentality you want to have. You want to stay at max range. The only utility you have to escape is your flash. We could have finished the game here, but we derp. So, like in my opinion, he is a pokey champion. You want to stand and poke. And I mean, yeah, he's not bad. He's not a bad champion. But I just feel like... for instance, Xerath, which I've been mentioning several times during this commentary, is just a little bit more solid pick. I mean... if you want to stand and poke, Xerath is just way more viable because his Qs are more secure damage. So that being said, make sure you pick up Vel'Koz and try him out. But if you're looking for a potent poke champion, maybe look into Xerath instead because man, he's good. He's good right now. I like him. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. If you did, feel free to hit the like button. You can add this to your favorites and you can share it on Facebook with Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed. I do release 3 videos a week that you can enjoy. Check out the social pages in the link down below. And I'll see you next time, guys. This has been Sp4zie. And plenty. And we're both out. Dudes!